Hmm.
Hi, everybody.
Oh,
My name is Dee Lisa West. I'm a dream doula, and today I have with me Simone La Drumma. Please introduce
yeah.
yourself, Simone.
I can't see anything. I got a sign on my page here that said this this
This
meeting is
meeting is
being
recorded. I think
yeah,
you
and I
have
want
to
to get
say
it off of
okay.
here.
I think you have
And
to say okay somehow.
it says got it. I got it.
Okay, let's
All
start over.
right.
Hi, everybody. My name is Dee Lisa West, and I am a dream doula. Today I have
Hello.
Simone. Go ahead, Simone. Introduce yourself.
My name is Simone La Drumma. Yes, it's my real name. No, I wasn't born with it. I actually changed it. It used to be La Drumowitz. Oh, yeah, okay. Well, no, I
Now,
did. It was changed by the Spirit of the Drum on August 28th, 1996. I changed my name in the King County Courthouse. That's for the city of Seattle. I changed my name legally to Simone La Drumma. Both names were brand. Well, I've been called Simone since I met my husband in 1968. At that time, my nickname was Sugar. And he said, that doesn't look very good. And I said, I agree with you. I'm a 26-year-old woman, I think I was, in 1968. And I said, let's find another name. My husband's name was Don. That fucking screen just came back on again. I can't believe it. So I told my husband. So my husband started rattling off names. He was a very good namer. And so, what's the background here? Is that a nice background?
oh yeah, looks great. You
I'm gonna
look
take
beautiful,
this.
by the way. You look gorgeous.
I can't believe it. That's great. A little makeup. So
Hmm.
he started. So he was my dealer. I was on the Haight Ashbury. I was a hippie, and he was my dealer. And when he rattled off names, and when he came to Simone, I said, "That's it," because to me that was such a beautiful name, and I never had a beautiful name. My given name was Bertha Victoria.
Bertha,
Uh, yeah, Bertha. Right, that
that's
was my grandmother's name.
hmm
But my mother was never able to grieve the loss of her mother. And so she carried that loss within her, and she was never able to express anything. She was never able to express emotions or anything. I never heard her say, I love you. Can you see my face okay?
oh yeah, I can see
Okay.
you.
If you can't, let me know because I'm blind, so I can't see. So, anyway, he came to Simone, and I went, oh my God, what a beautiful name. And I said, that's it. Boom. And in that moment, 1968, I became Simone, but it wasn't until August 28th, 1996, that I legalized the Simone and also legalized La Drumma. And I am only now realizing what happened because I am kind of mentoring my friend Prairie Wolf, who changed her name. She's a Canadian Chinese, and she's got some kind of Chinese name, but she calls herself Prairie Wolf. She's fiddle player. She's a violinist, and I adore her. Absolutely adore her. She's in her 40s. She's gorgeous, and she has her own line dancing band up in Vancouver. And she and my other friends are kind of making me realize what I did in on those dates when I finally created myself created myself. And that's what you seem to be about. Delisa, you seem
Yes,
to be about
absolutely.
helping
Absolutely.
people create themselves.
100%. I
So,
have a question from a listener. She would
God,
like to know, back in the day when you lived in the Haight, what was your best psychedelic trip?
shit.
If you want to share. If not, we can talk about anything else.
Yeah, I'll tell you something. Oh, excuse me, because I got this thing in my mouth because it got dry mouth and I got a hard candy. It must probably making noise. Sorry. But
It's fine. It's fine.
I had a trip that started off as a nightmare. You fucking thing, you bastard. I had a trip that started off as a bummer. That word was created in the 60s too as a word for a really horrific acid trip. We came up with that name. Well, it was a bummer. But here's how it ended for that listener. I I my arms are out now. I don't know if you could see that. I suddenly knew when trees bloomed, when they had branches, when they gave birth to their leaves, when they gave birth to their blossoms. I suddenly knew when the ground, when the little plants on the ground opened as plants, that that was orgasmic for the plant. That was orgasmic for the plant. That was an ecstatic experience for the plant. So spring and the blossom, I would say that was the best acid trip in the 60s, the one that ended with me. I stood there and I felt this blooming on my arms, and I felt these blooms. I felt these blooms coming out on me as if I was a tree, and I was ecstatic. And ever since then, I have believed that the reason why things bloom is because that's their orgasm, that's their height of pleasure, their height of ecstasy. I would say that.
Wow. So what a good end to a bummer trip.
It was a terrible trip. Some man raped me, I think.
Mm.
A man came into the room I was in, and I had no defenses. And I remember him doing things to me, and I was not able to do anything about it. But it ended with that experience of actually blooming, like feeling what the tree felt, blossoming. Yeah,
Wow.
yeah,
So it took you 28 years to legally change your name, but for
yeah.
all that time, you told people you were Simone La Drumma.
No, no. In 1996. Okay, so now I'm Simone Welsh.
Okay.
That's my late husband's name, right? So I had the name not legally Simone, but the legal name Welsh. Um, God, Lisa, I've had 7 names, and all 7, I had to say goodbye to all 7 of them for the spiritual name change ceremony, which followed the legal name change in August. So I changed my name legally to Simone La Drumma on August 28th, 1996. And then on October 20th, 1996, Judith Laxer, who's still shepherding me to death now. She's my shepherd on my way to dying. She's remarkable. She's really remarkable. And she's the Reverend Judith Laxer of Gaia's Temple, right?
Yes.
So she did a whole ceremony for me. And I have all this in my bottom of the closet. I have a plastic bin that I bought, and inside of it are all the things people might want to put out on tables after I die. And it's also pictures of this spiritual name change ceremony. So so Judith told told me to bring a new pair of shoes that I had never worn, and she asked people to bring a little bell. And I met with her earlier, and she found out I had 7 names, starting with Bertha Victoria Grossman. And then my first marriage, which legally I was Bertha Victoria Wagner. And then, but I kept that nickname Sugar. So if you call me Bertha, I bunk on the head. The only people who could get away with that were the law, dentists, people who just saw the piece of paper and they didn't know my name was Sugar. But that's what I was called by everyone. And then I transitioned into Sugar. And then I met this man who he was my dealer when I lived in a commune off the Haight-Ashbury. And and I fell in what I say we fell in something. I don't know what that was. We fell in love, I guess. Yeah, we did. We fell in love. The problem was that as humans, we had a very hard time loving each other. It was very difficult. So I said I had 7 strips of paper on 7 chairs in a circle, and I have pictures of Judith standing behind me, her hands on my shoulder, and I had to say goodbye to each of those identities, including the stolen identity, and goodbye to that. Goodbye. Boy, was that powerful. I had to. It's not an easy thing. You think you're going to you think you're going to give yourself a new self? Get ready for some heavy duty shit. This is not a light thing. This is like labor, man. You've been in labor,
Yeah.
Delisa. I've been in labor. I have a daughter. I know what that's like. It fucking hurts.
Yes, it does. It hurts so
This,
much. It hurts so much. It's inexplainable.
it's
We
right.
can't explain it to any man that it hurts that much. They couldn't
Never.
they couldn't grok it.
No. And how it should be that way. It should be
Yeah.
that way because it's very, very big deal. And
Yes.
if it's easy, it's stupid. So yeah. So I said goodbye, and oh my God, was that hurts. And I said goodbye, and then she had me put on my new pair of shoes.
That's a great metaphor for a new
Yeah,
life.
yeah. Yeah, I
Oh,
got a photograph of me I'm wearing black stockings with my black pumps, and then everyone rang the bell, and I drummed, and they welcomed in Simone La Drumma, and she told a story about a woman walking somewhere and then coming to a crossroads and taking the right way and starting on her own way. And so I've been that person ever since. And it's just not, it can be, if it's like la la la, oh, here we go, I'm going to put on my spiritual name, that's fine, but it ain't going to stick, because this process is not an easy process. It's huge. It's as painful almost as labor.
Mm-hmm. Well, you chose the name, and you told me once, I chose the name La Drumma, and then I realized, oh, wow, I better be a good drummer now.
That's right. No, what happened? Yeah, dig it, dig it, dig it. So I didn't choose the name La Drumma, Delisa, mind you.
Oh, tell me
No
more.
way, no way. Well, I was living on Beacon Hill in Seattle, and I had a whiteboard up, and I would write down my name. So when people write a check to me to pay for my classes, they would see what to call me. And somehow, Delisa, one day in around 1996, or maybe just before, maybe 95, I don't know, I was writing on the whiteboard, and I wrote Simone, quotation marks, La Drumma, end quote, Welsh. And I looked at it and I was like, what? What the fuck? Where'd that come from? I swear to God. I swear to God. I did not know where that came from. So, okay. And then one day I realized I got to take those quotation marks off.
Yeah.
So what happened was I was trying to move out of my house. It's a dump. It was horrible. Nothing worked. It was old and decrepit and nothing worked. And it was a scene of really bad stuff that had happened in my marriage. And then dreams started happening. I don't know what they're dreams or what. I wake up knowing. I wake up knowing. One day I wake up knowing that the reason I can't move, because I kept trying to move, but I can't move, was because I had to change my first house. Your first house is what you call yourself.
Wow.
I had to step into that legally, and then I would be able to move. That's what the message was. And that was correct. So I went down to the King County, I just raced down to the courthouse, and I was there when it opened that day. It's all there in my bin. And I had already started the process, so I checked off all the things. Now it's more difficult. That was before 9/11. Now it's more difficult to change your name, but anyway, I checked it all off. And on that day, I became legally Simone La Drumma, and I did not pick La Drumma. It was selected for me by what I think is the energy of the spirit of the, God damn it, that thing. The spirit of the drum. I just can't believe this thing keeps that. Anytime I touch this thing, it's just unbelievable. Yeah. So it was selected by the spirit of the drum.
Some people talk about their guides and angels, and you talk a lot about the spirit of the drum. Do you feel like the spirit of the drum is its own entity, or do you feel like it's God or the quantum field, or what do you think?
Okay. If the spirit of the drum was a mountain,
Mm-hmm.
a big old mountain, and if that mountain was magnetized, to Lisa,
Oh.
and I am a paperclip.
Okay. Oh, I see now. So
I
it's
didn't
something
choose to do
so
any.
compelling that it
I
pulls you
Yeah,
toward it.
I absolutely. I didn't choose any of this shit. It's just the way a paperclip would go to the mountain.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. Oh, that's such a great analogy. I think we started talking and people might be like listening to this thing and then they don't really know that you called me a few days ago and said, Delisa, I'm dying. And I don't mean I'm dying to see you. I mean, I'm dying. I'm on hospice care. And I sent you email and you didn't email me back. What's going on? And I'm like, what? What? So then I started thinking, I started tripping and thinking about all the friends of mine that I know that are dead now. And without exception, every single one of them, I feel a little bit sad that they lived their life the way they did and then they died, because I can see that they didn't really fully live into who they could have been. But I do not feel that way about you at all. I feel like you lived and you did so authentically. But I wonder how it feels to you. Like, I often ask people this question and it's esoteric, but not for you. Like, if you die tomorrow, are you happy with how your life went?
There was no alternative.
Huh.
It had to be what it was.
Mm,
So so that's what it was. It had to be what it was. Every moment of my life had to be there, pulling me to the next moment.
mm,
Just like your life is the same way, Jaleesa. Everyone's life is like that.
yeah.
One moment pulls into the next moment. Now, but happy about it, it would have been, I would have been glad to maybe start drumming before I was 45. I would have been glad to have found my calling, because that's my calling. And by the way, I just came back from teaching a drum class.
Yes. The fact that you're teaching a drum class while you're on hospice care and doing this
It's
podcast, thank you. Thank you.
fucking amazing. It's amazing. And I gotta tell you about tomorrow. This
I
is
do want to
really,
know.
yeah,
Yeah.
this is really exciting. No, you stop it, you stupid
Stop.
thing.
Stop touching your
Jesus
computer.
Christ. Shit. Okay. Oh,
Okay, so
so
back to you didn't start drumming till you were 45.
yeah. No. Yeah. Okay, let me explain.
Please
Fuck.
do.
Hey, Ashbury. 1967 is the summer of love.
Okay.
And I am at Golden Gate Park. And 1967, I was born in 41. I am 25 because I was born at the tail end of 41. 25 years old. And I'm in Golden Gate Park and I hear drumming.
Mm,
And again, the hook in my chest, pull me,
yes.
pull me towards the sound. Also, I'm terrified, which I learned later, that if you're scared and pulled towards something simultaneously, the fear is the saboteur.
Yes.
The fear is the saboteur telling you you can't do it.
Yes.
That's what the fear is. You should, if you didn't have the fear, you'd be very fortunate. But I had the fear and I learned what that was. It was a saboteur. And women in our culture, especially older women, have a saboteur inside of them, as you know,
Yes.
because I read your stuff. And it's this thing that's telling you you can't do this. What's the matter with you?
Yeah.
This is you can't do this. And so I went to this, so in Golden Gate Park, and I this hook inside my chest and pulling me towards this drum, that conga drum. And sure enough, it was a black man, because that's the only people who you ever saw playing congas at that time was black men. And I said, I got the courage. I screwed up my courage. And I said, can you show me how to do that? And he said, no. And because he said, you don't, it's not teachable. You
Oh,
either know,
interesting.
you, you either know how to do this or you don't. It's not, you can't teach this. I didn't know any better. So I believed him.
Mm.
I talked to my friend Katya, who lives a block away, who's one of the only other drum teachers in Seattle. She teaches a specific type of drumming from the Malinke people of Guinea. And she had the same experience at the beginning. She felt her as a drummer, felt pulled towards the drum. And then she was told, no, they don't teach it. You can't
Mm,
learn it. That was amazing. Two of us. There must have been more than two of us.
sure.
So yeah, sure. So I just figured, oh well, I don't know how, so that's the way it goes. And then one day I was going out with this black guy because Jewish girls went out with black guys to show how liberal we were. And the black guys were dating Jewish girls to show how liberal they were. Not because we were really attracted to each other, but because of all this fucked up racism thing that goes on in our country. That's why
Yeah,
we were going out together. You following me?
totally. Yes.
So I go with this guy to his friend's pad. We called it a pad in San Francisco. And walk in, and there's a brick of hashish on the table, and he's got a couple of conga drums there, and I'm a fucking hippie, and he puts on um the record, Santana record with a lion on the front. Can't remember the name of it. They had just hit a huge, success in rock music, because that was the first time that Latin music exploded into rock music,
Yeah, they
and
started that whole thing with the
yeah,
rhythm. Yeah,
all these cultures were coming together now.
yeah.
And I I smoked. This is very important. I used to leave this out because I wanted people to not be skeptical. And I thought, well, if I tell them I'm high, they're gonna get skeptical. Oh, fuck it. That's the truth. I was high. Being high allowed me to make these great leaps forward, I
Yeah.
sat down at one of those conga drums, and Abraxas, that's the name of the album, Abraxas.
Thank you.
And I sat down, and I had never played. And I just started playing like I didn't know how. No one, I never had a lesson. I just played for the whole album. Well, for the whole album. And so that's, I don't know, I think it's, how long it is. You could add the songs on the backside.
And
I'm
you,
sorry.
because you thought that no one could teach it to you, you just had to know how to do it. So you were high enough to think, well, let me try and see if I can do it.
So I played and I played and I played and I played. And when I was through playing, I was like, and the guy whose pad it was said, you know, you've got something. You should do something with that. And I
Mm,
and I didn't know what to do with that. What does he mean? I should do something. I've got, what is that? I don't know what that is. But that was my first time drumming. Then I married my dealer. I married Donald under false ID that he had stolen. That was one of my names that I had to say goodbye to early. Simone Early. Simone Don and Simone Early.
wait, but
He's,
that was a fake ID.
yeah, he stole it.
So his name wasn't really Early. It was
No,
something.
it was Welsh. Yeah. So I got married under the name Early, which came up later when I applied for Social Security a few years later. Anyway, I'll tell you about it. So anyway, um, where was I? So I my husband broke his leg. My husband, the dealer man, he broke his leg in a motorcycle accident. He was making a delivery of dope, and he made a mistake, and he ended up falling. The motorcycle fell over, and he didn't have a safety bar on it, which is very important. So the bike fell on his right leg, and this heavy bike fell on his right leg. And so then he was in a big cast, and I had to get a job. So I got a job at Yosemite Insurance Company on Market Street in San Francisco. And so then and we were living in Emeryville, which is in the East Bay, right next to Berkeley.
Okay.
I get mixed up with things. Anyway, one day a coworker, she was a white woman. She told me that she had a black boyfriend, that he played conga drums, and I went, "What? What? Woo!" And I said, I invited her and her boyfriend over, which was a dramatic move because my husband did not usually permit me to do that. By the
Mm,
way, the whole thing was I gave him permission to forbid me. You
of
have to
course.
understand that. Yeah, I never blamed him for to blame him for anything would be to stop my own healing. Don't do that. Like Pema Chodron says, do you know Pema Chodron?
Yes, yes.
Like she
I know her work.
says, drive all blames into one. I know what that means now. If you got to blame someone, if you got to, it's this way: you blame yourself.
Yeah. Yeah,
That's what you
you
do.
chose to have that dance. Mhm.
Absolutely, absolutely. So she says, I said, why don't you come over? And somehow Don, my husband, allowed that to happen. And he was in this cast from having this terrible accident. And this guy came over to our home in I guess Emeryville, which is right next to between Oakland and Berkeley. And he didn't teach me anything. He just gave me the drum, and he took a drum, and I just drummed the shit out of the conga drum. I didn't see any other drum in those days. It was all congas, and
Mm.
so that was an answer about how long it was before. No, it wasn't 20 years. So I had so in 1968 or 9 or something, I played the conga drum, and I was working at Yosemite Insurance Company, and I played the drum so long and so hard without any instruction. And when I was through, I went like this. Can you see my hands?
Yes.
And my fingers were touching. They were so swollen. They were
Wow.
touching when I spread my fingers. They were touching, and I was a typist. I had to type renewal policies, and I made a huge decision at that time. Better the insurance company should suffer than the drum should suffer. This was okay. I could go to work like this. It was better that was okay. It was okay. So
Wait,
I
could
went.
you type with your fingers all swollen up?
I
Oh,
don't
wow.
remember that part. I don't remember that. I just know I remember saying, "Okay, that's the
Wow.
way it goes," because that's the point. I'm not gonna be nice to that part of my life.
Hmm.
No, 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 no. I need to do this other thing. So my husband didn't know what to make of this because now the Pandora's box had been opened, and so every time I heard a drum anywhere, it was like a hook in my chest pulling me there. And there was always a black man at the other end. I was not interested in black men anymore. But my husband was pathologically jealous. He thought I was interested in black men, and I
Mm,
wasn't. I was interested in the drum,
right.
and I tried to tell him that, but he didn't get that. So then we moved to here. We moved to Beacon Hill in 75. We moved to Beacon Hill here in Seattle. And um I went to a pawn shop and I bought Papa. I called this synthetic blue conga Papa. It was a plastic blue drum with a cowhide. This was supposed to have cowhide heads, congas, and it had um three legs inside of it. That if you opened the butterfly knot, you could pull the three legs out, and you could stand and play it. But the holes got too big, and so when I was in a band, like when I was in Zanga Marimba ensemble, I was one of the drummers. So the pole would start going up inside the drum because the hole was too big. And then the drum would start folding down, 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 down. And I would have to yell, Philip. Philip was this wonderful man in the band. Philip, hold the drum, hold the drum. And so yeah. So Jesus, I can't believe it keeps
So
doing this.
what,
What did I
so,
do?
so Papa was your first drum that you ever
Yeah,
bought?
that's right.
Because
That's
when I met you, Simone, you had a room full of drums. You had so many drums they wouldn't fit in your bedroom and or who knows? You had lots and lots and lots and lots of drums.
where was I living at the time? I've lived a million places in Seattle. Where was I
Now I'm
living?
trying to remember. I was trying to remember the first time I met you was at a summer solstice celebration where you came and you drummed around the big circle of all the women and everybody's mouth just like opened up wide while we watched you drum. It was so amazing. It was so incredible. And you just went whack-a-doodle, drumming around, talking, drumming, singing, all the things you're doing, walking. And I was like, I don't even know how she's doing that. I can't even see her hands. Her hands are just a blur. How does she do that? And then in the morning, you were just having breakfast with the ladies. And yeah, so I've seen you at several of your places that you lived in Seattle. The place in Green Lake, the place in the Central District. Um, I haven't seen you where you live now because you moved there after I left Seattle. But yeah, I think now you've got it down to just a few drums because you don't have space for them.
I only have one drum up here and one drum. I just gave a lesson to one drum in the storage bin
Hmm.
downstairs. I have two drums now.
Wow.
Yeah, yeah.
Wow. So you spent a lot of time after moving to Seattle only drumming, because I remember you told a drum class once, and one of the drum classes I was happy to sign up for was beginning drumming for older people. I think
Ah,
you offered it like it takes a long time for older people to learn these things. So
it
sign up
does.
for this. And we're like, what? How does that go? Da, 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 da. Yeah. But you got us drumming. It was like you were like the magic sauce that put it all together for all of us.
Ah,
You got the baby drummers drumming pretty well. I mean, some of
yeah,
them actually don't have rhythm, so you can't make them do it well, but most of them came along.
yeah.
Hmm.
I gotta get some water, all right?
Do it. Do what you have to.
How did I put it? Oh my God. Ah,
The other thing I was thinking about, Simone, and I'd love to chat about this. So we can get onto the death conversation, although I'm happy to talk about drumming for like hours and hours. The the fact that you've been doing death cafes for many, many years and you've been having conversations about dying,
mhm.
does that seem like it's making this time of your life uh, maybe easier than it could have been had you not considered thinking about dying?
Absolutely, Delisa. Absolutely.
Yeah,
Yeah, the death cafes, when you hear other people and you hear what they're thinking about death,
yeah.
and maybe they're not thinking about their own death. Maybe a friend of theirs just died. Maybe
Hmm.
a spouse just died. Maybe someone just committed suicide. I mean, there's so many reasons why people go to death cafes. I
Right.
went to one a few weeks ago. Me and my fiance. I asked him if he wanted to get married. It's a long story. He's
Are
never
you
even
gonna
had a girlfriend.
are you gonna marry him before you croak?
I don't know. You like
Oh.
to say before you croak. I noticed that.
Before you pass on to the other side. I mean,
No,
I love
croak is good. I like croak.
um I love that you have a boyfriend now.
Uh, it's insane. We don't have much in common. It's crazy. It's so fucking crazy. It's really nuts. We don't have much in common, but chemically we do.
Mhm.
Chemistry, yeah, you gotta have the chemistry, baby. And we do. And I am in love with him. And he's a sweetheart. And he does everything for me. Everything. He is an angel from up above. He takes care of business for me. Yeah. I wouldn't have anyone here if it was not for him.
Mhm.
Can you hear me okay?
Yes, I can hear you great.
Okay.
How'd you meet this guy? You live in the same building, but did you meet in the
It's
elevator?
crazy. Yeah, so I can't. So I'm living in the last place, Matthews Beach, with these awful people, and it's awful, and I'm freaking out because no one has invited me to live with them, and I'm thinking I'm going to be on the street, and that's what opened the door for my shingles. August 9th, 2022. That's 15 months ago or something. I got shingles with a stabbing pain. And in the middle of a gig I was doing for old people at Northgate, it was horrible. Anyway, I got shingles and I moved at that time. Somehow everything didn't work out and this didn't work out. And what did work out was Council House here.
Okay.
And the reason the other places didn't work out is because Tim wasn't in those other places.
Yes.
Go figure. Go figure. Go figure. I mean, go raise humans. I mean, holy mackerel. So he was here. He's been here for at least a year when I moved in. He'd
Mm.
already been here for maybe a year. And I actually lead classes on clutter. I am anti-clutter in the extreme. So it became imperative that I know about how to live with just one of everything or with none of everything, because I am living in one room now, and you really got to know how to do that shit when you live in one room.
Well, one
And
room, it's like how many square feet is it? It's not very big room.
it's not. It's a small room. It's
Yeah.
not a big room. And I got places for my beautiful plants. Oh, they're so beautiful. I'm now a plant mommy. I
Yeah.
didn't used to be a plant mommy, but these plants are just thriving. And this incredible, I'll show you later, amazing African violet. Amazing. I call her, you won't believe it, I call her Violet. And then there's all these spider plants up behind me. I don't know if you can see from here. We will walk around later. And I just gave away a couple of beautiful spider plants. I'm slowly getting, I don't want to get rid of them. Sometimes I really don't want to die. Sometimes I accept it and sometimes I don't. I think everyone goes through that. Maybe they don't. Maybe they're in better shape than I am. So was there a question in there somewhere?
I think
Oh,
most
Tim.
people, yeah, we're talking about your guy, but I think most people fight dying because they want to be alive and not dead.
Well, I guess so. So then I move in here, and with the shingles, this is already on September 15th, 2023. I've had the shingles now for more than a year.
Wow.
And I go up on the roof the first couple of days I'm here, and there's this man up there looking out towards the west with this pensive look. And for some reason or other, a lot of things now start with for some reason or other, Delisa. um, I take a picture of him. He looks like my late husband.
Mm.
I'm not that into astrology anymore, but I'm a Capricorn. My late husband was a Capricorn. This guy's a Capricorn. My late husband was bald and he had longish hair, black hair, and he has a beard, and so does this guy here. The same thing, he's bald, and a few strands left, but he's bald and he has black hair and he has a beard. And he's gruff. He's a very masculine man.
He's gruff.
He's gruff, you know what I mean? He's
Yeah.
got a gruff voice. He's got a
Mm.
gruff feel. He's very manly,
Hmm.
and but he's not an asshole. My friends love him. He's usually the only man when he drives me someplace, and he knows. The fucking thing came on again. And he knows his place. I guess I could say I wouldn't say that in front of him, but he stays out of it. He doesn't start mansplaining and doing that shit that women hate, dominating. He doesn't try to do that. And I'm a anti-clutter person, and he's a hoarder.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so
He
if you go into his room, it's just filled to the brim with everything.
to the ceiling.
Wow.
He doesn't. He says he's not a hoarder. He's a collector. He says, "Yeah,
Mm.
right." What's
What
in
does he
those
collect?
boxes? I don't know. He collects things he doesn't. I don't know. He collects his over 100 guitars in one bed. Here's a one bedroom. That's very
Wait,
desired of him.
wait. Did you say he has over 100 guitars?
I did.
Are they all in his room?
Yeah, they're all in his rooms. He got one. He's got two rooms. Yeah,
Wow.
yeah. And
Okay,
since he's
wow.
known me, he's bought two junky djembes. I don't know why. I said to him, Tim, it's a shame you don't know anyone who plays a drum because you just bought a piece of crap.
Mm, yeah, why didn't he consult with you on buying a drum?
Well, maybe he's a man that way.
Yeah, yeah, he knows how to buy some.
He knows how to buy something. So he bought two pieces of shit. And one of them, I think the animal was tortured, man. To look at the skin on that thing, it's
Mm.
painful. Painful to look at the skin on that thing. I said, Tim, I'm going to be repetitive now. I don't like repeating myself, but I said, it's a shame you don't know anyone who drums, you know. Fucking goddamn, Jesus Christ. How could you do such a thing? Yeah. So
So have you t did he buy those drums so he could learn how to drum with you? Or oh yeah.
he wants to learn how to drum, but he doesn't want me to teach him necessarily.
Okay.
He's gotten online I don't know what the story is, man. I just don't know.
Mm. But other than that, his bad taste in drums, he's a good man for you right now.
He's wonderful. He's kind, so kind. He's so gentle. He's extremely sensitive. He cries when you mention his sister. Women love men who cry.
Yeah.
That's one of my slogans on my wall. I write these slogans. Women love men who cry. He goes, I'm sorry when he cries. And all the women go, no, that's okay. That's okay. Of course it's okay. We think it's wonderful. We think it's better than okay.
I'm with you
So
on that, Simone. I think a guy who cries has my heart.
he has my heart and he cooks for me.
Mm,
He cooks for me. My other husbands didn't do that. My two husbands. This man cooks for me. And sometimes if I have it in his apartment, and sometimes he brings it up to mine with on a tray with like a covered thing, like it was a waiter,
I love
in
it.
a restaurant, and he'll tell me everything he cooked, and he's a pretty good cook,
Mm,
and I'm so thrilled that he does that, because my appetite is goes away and then it comes back and then it goes away
right.
and it comes back. So anyway, he's very good to me. He does my laundry. He takes out the one of the elevators in this 13-story building is going to be out for a year
Oh
while they
gosh.
repair it, and the other elevator is getting a lot of work. And so because of that, we used to be able to put our garbage down a chute on each floor. And also on each floor, we had recycle. But now we don't because of the elevator situation. Um, the penthouse, which is the 13th floor, they have all kinds of uh, uh, superstitions against 13 here.
Oh,
I,
right.
so I don't know. My friend Judith, she thinks it's a great number. Witches like 13, and I'm with witches, so I like
Do
the
they call
witches.
it? Do they call it the 13th floor or do they call it the
No,
14th floor?
they call it the penthouse.
Yeah, and a lot of buildings they don't call it the 13th floor.
That's
Suddenly,
right.
suddenly you're on 14.
That's right. It's
Yes,
crazy. It's crazy. So
it's true.
anyway, yeah. So anyway, but here is the penthouse, and it was gorgeous. It's a library and a meeting room and this wonderful workout room. I for the first time in my life, I did treadmill stuff. I would get high, and the view to the west, traveling over Seattle, was just beautiful.
Mm,
And I put on music on my headphones, put the headphones on, and then the treadmill would start moving backwards, and I would turn up the music, and I knew how to calculate the laps, and I would
nice.
dance while I was dance. I would dance while I was walking, dance walking. It was great. It's great, but I haven't been well enough to do that for a while.
I remember for a while you were teaching dance while you can,
That's right.
and you said while you, we all won't be able to do this someday, so dance while you can.
That's
And
right.
I thought, what a dark concept, but it was super fun.
No, it's right. Dance while you can, walk while you can, breathe while you can, eat
Yeah.
while you can, love while you can. Yeah, that's for older people, while you can.
Well, and Simone, how old are you now? Do you mind sharing that?
Of course not. 81.
So you're 81, and I hear that your boyfriend is younger than you.
I robbed the cradle.
Yeah,
He's 70.
yeah. And
But
that probably matters less. If you're 30 dating a 20-year-old, that matters less than if you're 81 dating a 70-year-old.
It doesn't seem to matter too much, except I can feel the difference. I mean, I've lived 11 more years than him, and
Yeah.
I've been on a lot of journeys. I've studied like one of these Jubus, they call these, just for some reason, Jews are attracted to Buddhism. They call them Jubus. And like, have you ever heard Jack Cornfield?
Yes.
There's one of your Jubus.
Okay.
There's a bunch of them, and they're good. Jack Cornfield's wonderful for explaining Buddhism to us, and he was a monk in Thailand.
Right.
And so I've been on all these journeys to learn about my mind, to learn about cognition, and he hasn't. He's on other journeys. He's learned other things. So I've studied nonviolent communication, NVC. He
Hmm.
has not. He has not. I've studied the work, Byron Katie's work, and he
Yeah.
has not. He has not. And I've read this incredible poetry. Billy Collins. Have you heard of Billy Collins?
I love, someone gave me one of his books. So profound, so beautiful.
Listen, go online and listen to him read his stuff. It's
Ooh.
fantastic.
Ooh, okay. I'll do.
Fantastic. And here's something else you should get. Do you know Father Greg Boyle?
I don't know that person.
Well, I'm serious when I tell you this. And this is a Jew who doesn't believe in, I don't believe in the religious part of Judaism at all.
Okay.
Chosen people, bullshit. Bullshit. We ain't chosen people. Yeah, we were chosen for the ovens at Auschwitz. Come on, give me a break. You want to turn people into anti Semites? You tell them that we're the favorite of God. Bullshit. But I like the humor and the culture, and the Germans would say the Weltanschauung, the worldview is part of me,
Yeah.
of the Jews. I like that stuff. So, what was I saying?
Father Greg Boyle.
Yeah, Father, take it from me. This man is Jesus Christ reincarnated.
Mm,
Truly, 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 Delisa. You look him up. He has a TED talk, Father Gregory Boyle. But the first thing I did when someone sent me an interview with him, an audio interview, and I was like, wow, this man has literally saved thousands of young men from prison in Los Angeles. He has saved thousands of young men from going to prison, gangbangers.
mm,
And he's a Catholic priest.
mm.
And it's stupendous. It's stupendous. Once you get a taste of Father Greg, you'll never be the same again. I can't tell you. You'll see. This man's compassion knows no bounds. He's amazing. So the first thing I did was, Libby is the national audio book for the library system in this country. So
Right.
I belong to Libby, of course, because I'm blind, almost blind. And I took out his book, Tattoos on the Heart. And he narrates his own books, praise be. Because he's got the Chicano lingo down. He
Mm.
sounds like a Chicano man, and he isn't. He isn't Chicano, but he sounds like one. And I listened to Tattoos on the Heart, and then I couldn't get enough of Father Greg. And so I'm telling you. So anyway, he's part of me now, and not part of Tim. Even though Tim is his father was Irish, and
Mm.
his mom was Polish. So,
Mm.
and one of the things about Tim is he loved his mother, and I found out the hard way that men who don't love their mother, like for instance, my second husband, he probably didn't love. Oh gosh,
I
I'm.
agree with you, Simone. Men who don't love their mothers cannot love their wives.
It seems that way to me. It seems
Yes,
that way to me. And
yes.
mom and Tim loves his mother very much. I've never. That's so beautiful a thing. And he's never had a girlfriend. 70 years old, and he's never had a girlfriend.
Now, I don't understand that. How is that
I
even
don't
possible?
understand. What it
Is-
is he says he's picky, but that's facile. That's facile. It's not that. He is so sensitive, so insecure. I, when so we adopted this guy as our grandchild, and this guy was videotaping us, and we have some videos on YouTube. I don't know. It's called Aging Everywhere. I don't know how to point you there, but he made some beautiful videos of me and Tim. And while he was recording with both of us down in Tim's apartment, he said, because he's a young man, he's 27, he doesn't know any better. He said, so were you two thinking of getting married? And I was like dumbfounded that he would ask that kind of a question. And I turned to Tim and I said, I don't know. What do you think? And Tim says, I think it's legalized affection, but if she wants it, I'll do it.
I love that answer. If she wants it, I'll do it. Okay.
We talked about it again last night.
Mm,
I said, what about it? Can you say you want, can you tell me that I'm your wife? He couldn't say it. He
mm.
said, he said, finally he came up with, you are my lovely wife. But he was keeping a distance between his words and his feeling. And I don't know about this. I mean, I don't know, but I don't have a very good record. I have two lousy marriages. I don't know.
Oh, yeah. Maybe it would taint your relationship to be married. It would color it in a different color. Yeah.
I don't
Well,
know.
Simone, I know I can see that you're getting tired.
I
And
am.
I, is there something else you'd like to say in case we never get a chance to talk again? Some kind of wisdom you'd want to spill out on the world? Some kind of wisdom that you'd spill out on the world on anything, like how to live a beautiful life, how to follow the power of the drum, how to die well, anything you'd want to share.
Everyone says the same thing. Everyone says, in order to die well, you have to live well. And
Mm,
that's true. That's true. And
mm.
in order to live well, you have to learn how to die well. So I hate so wisdom is what other people tag you with. I don't. It would be. I think it's galling to call myself a wise person. That's not my job. That's someone else's job. Yeah, that's not my job at all. So it's galling. So this is a beautiful stone of a head, skull. Uh, nothing, nothing's, oh, Delisa, I have to go. The
I am
opioids are
gonna I'm gonna
knocking
hit
me out.
this stop recording. Stand by.
Yeah,
How
yeah.
can I do that? Recording. Stop.